So I was looking through some of my past videos the last couple of years, and I found this topic, top 5 sneakers that lost hype in 2017 and 2018. I wanted to go ahead and bring you an updated version for 2021. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. Hey, what is going on, guys? Hes here. Hopefully you're having a good day out there. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching. And if you guys enjoy sneaker content out there, please consider subscribing. Also, in the description of the video is my website, Collective Kicks. Basically, I just post a bunch of sneaker deals that I find for you guys on a regular basis. So go over there and check that out. So the subject is the top 5 sneakers that lost hype. I will link the previous videos in the description, but just as a recap, I mentioned the Nike Foamposite One, the Adidas Ultraboost, the Yeezy 350 V2. This is from 2017-2018 era. I also mentioned Nike basketball, Jordan retros to some capacity, Nike Air sneakers. The hype of the Nike Air is kind of come and gone. The Nike Supreme collabs, the Adidas NMDs, and the Nike Flyknit racers. In my opinion, those ones are still relevant in today's day and age, but I wanted to give you guys 5 more for 2021, so let's go ahead and jump in the list. So I know that this list will be a little bit subjective. Some people might be offended that something might have lost hype. Some people might just completely disagree and be like, I'm crazy because I'm even mentioning it. Totally get it. And if you guys want to leave a comment in the comment section on what you feel, then obviously feel free to do that and like the comments that you like, and then, I'll be checking those out as well. So the number 5 spot for myself is going to go to the Jordan 1. Now, PJ actually mentioned this on Twitter because I actually polled you guys on Twitter and asked you guys what you thought was losing hype or lost hype in 2021. And shout out to anybody out there that actually follows me on Twitter. Link in the description to follow me over at heskicks. But I believe PJ is right, though. The Air Jordan 1 hype and the luster is just not there on every single release. And now I will obviously say this just depends. It's not like all the hype is completely evaporated from the Air Jordan 1. Obviously, you're still going to have your Fragment Travis Scott collab that's going crazy. The Trophy Room collaboration was crazy. There's definitely the highest end resale on some of the Jordan 1 releases this year alone. But that being said, the hype on the general release pairs definitely has taken a hit quite a bit. At the end of the day, when people are buying a pair of these for $170 and then flipping them for $195, minus eBay fees and everything else, you might be walking away with Skittles at the end of the day. We know that the Air Jordan 1 sells out every single release, but that doesn't mean the resale is really there. Obviously there's the sit and hold game too. You can hold them for a couple years and maybe they'll mature, and then, most of the people that wanted the shoe will warn them. Then by the end of the century, you might make double, triple your money back depending on the colorway. But as of right now, they're releasing so many different colorways. There's definitely ones that release that people aren't feeling, like these ones right here. This is a pair that I got for under $200 in the open market. And I really wanted this one because I wanted to customize it. As you can see, I did the back panel in black, and I did a video actually of this customization if you want to check it out on my channel. But I really wanted this one because obviously I'm an Oregon State alumni. Black and orange is my thing, and I definitely like that colorway, and I wanted to make it my own. These ones restocked and the prices have definitely gone up and down. Curious to see what's going to happen long term with the Pollens. All in all, I would say the Air Jordan hype is not at its end by any means, but it's also not at its peak, at least collectively between all of the releases that end up dropping. It's not all the way at the top anymore. So I think it's a prime contender for the number 5 spot on the countdown. I know this one's going to push some buttons though, so if you guys agree or disagree, leave your comments and reasons why. Number 4 on the list would be the Nike Dunk, another one that's going to push some buttons. Obviously, all these ones are not like washed out. Some of these colorways are definitely holding the resale quite well, but I would say overall, in general, people are pretty fatigued of the Air Jordan 1 and the Nike Dunk. First of all, from a general consumer's perspective, like they look very similar. If somebody doesn't know anything about either of these models, they would probably think it's the same thing, a high top versus a low top version. So I wouldn't be surprised if newer consumers are confused by which is a Nike Dunk versus a Jordan 1. At the end of the day, I think the Nike Dunk has had a really nice run. It's definitely had a trickle down effect from the other year of Travis Scott wearing Nike Dunks, like retros, and then like obviously the Kardashian sisters wearing the Nike Dunk retros, the old SBs, and the hype on those ones have definitely gone through the roof. But the trickle down being the general release pairs that hit Champ Sports and Foot Locker and those foot sites and have mass releases, those ones are selling out still like crazy, and they're not sitting on shelves anymore. So obviously there's some hype there still, but it is dying down. If you look at the resale prices, they're not all 2, 3, 5x anymore. Some of the stuff reselling is basically like a Snickers bar. It's not a lot of money at the end of the day. And some of the colorways definitely outperform other ones on the market, but it's definitely worth taking a look at some of the other coveted Nike SBs that have released recently that were like crazy through the roof prices. The prices definitely dipped a little bit on some of them, like the What the P Rods and some of the other ones out there. So it's similar to the Air Jordan 1. The hype isn't completely gone, but it's definitely fatigue setting in, and it'll be interesting to see where 2022 takes us. If Nike pumps up volume on the Nike Dunks. I mean, they only have so many colorways that they could do. They release a new one every single week, it seems like, through the entire year. So I imagine eventually we're going to get to a point where it's going to be easier and easier to pick up at retail, and people are just going to be passing on certain things. And I think we've seen that in some of the releases that I'll get into in just a minute. Actually, I'm going to get into it right now. Number 3 spot on the list is actually kind of more generalized, but Nike collaborations definitely have a hit or miss. And it's interesting because some of them you would think would be super fire, resale would be lit, people would go crazy over some of the releases, and then they end up releasing, and then most people that bought them to flip realize they might have made a mistake. They're not going to make the $100 profit that they thought they were going to make. They might be making $15 or something like that instead. But the Nike collaboration market definitely has seen its ups and downs, and Sacai Blazers is an example. These are sitting like 30 or 40% off of retail on StockX right now, which is crazy. But honestly, it's not that attractive looking of a shoe. I did a review on these. Probably the worst collab of the year, I said. Honestly, the cut right here is just, it's so bad. But I haven't grown to love these as much as I would have hoped. Apparently, most consumers out there haven't grown to love them either. And it's not just the Sacai Blazers. The Sacai Waffles, the original ones, had a re-release of a couple different colorways, and the clot ones did terrible on the open market as well. Those ones are not selling for too much at all. And speaking of clot, you have the Nike Air Max clots that all 3 of those with the clear toes did really, really bad. And I have 2 of the 3 colorways. I actually like them, but it's crazy to see the sneaker collaboration market. It's just not what it used to be. The Clot Air Max 1s released back in the day, and it was very, very limited. So of course, there was a lot of resale on those models, and now they release them in a general release. There's way too many pairs on the market to satiate the palates of those people that just wanted that shoe back in the day. There's not too many new consumers that are going, I really need that one. That being said, collectors out there that really wanted the shoe, now they have them. Like, I have the Clot Air Max 1s, Kiss of Death. I'm stoked about it, that it wasn't hard to get. So it's a catch-22. Obviously, it's going to make some people happy, but the resellers is going to make really mad because obviously they're not going to make any money off of it. I also have these out here because I recently got them, but the Nike Dunk Low Undefeated collabs, all 3 of these didn't really go super crazy. Honestly, like, this is selling for more GR pair than the collaboration pair, and the quality materials are definitely better on here. They're not super amazing, but they're better than what's on the GR McDonald's leather, as I call it. But it's interesting that some of these collabs are actually selling for less than some of the GR ones that release on the open market. I don't understand necessarily why. And another example is the Ambush Dunks. Now, this colorway is definitely going up in price probably, but the Volt colorway, people are hating that one. Like, you could buy that one at retail, which is nuts. It's actually one that I really wanted to get in hand, and I like the Ambush Dunks that I got here, but it would have been dope to get the Volt one. So it's actually one that I've been keeping my eyes on because the price is just close to retail, which honestly was an awesome thing to see. It's almost like you have to have a double collab to make things like really pop off in the resale market nowadays. Like, these ones are trash, but you have a Cause Sacai collaboration, and all of a sudden it's awesome. Of course, Travis Scott is a big name right now. The 6s didn't do so well, but this one with the fragment on it, obviously people really, really like that. And people are definitely paying a premium for the Travis Scott and fragment branding on the Air Jordan 1. Don't get me wrong, it's not every collab that releases with Nike is a failure, technically. It's just that there is a lot of collabs with Nike now with all sorts of different brands. And is it now to the point where there's like so many that there might be too many releases? I feel like there's definitely too many releases that happen every single week. It used to be just Saturdays, like one shoe, and now there's literally 1 or 3 shoes every single day of the week that release just on sneakers. So it's gotten crazy. So maybe it's just too saturated in the collaboration space and Nike needs to bring it back a little bit, or is it a good thing? I mean, honestly, it depends on how you look at it. If you're looking at it from a reseller mindset, of course, the product is not going to be as valuable if they release more. And so some people are stuck with a bunch of junk that they don't necessarily want. But on the positive side of things, which is something that I really appreciate and like, is that I've been able to get collaborations in my hands that I probably wouldn't have been able to get if they were too hot. And I'm kind of happy with just having more options out there, but maybe that's just me. Number 2 spot on the countdown goes to the Adidas Futurecraft. Now, this is a shoe that I think was pretty hyped up, obviously, when it originally released a couple years ago. Since then, we saw a bunch of different 4D technology midsoles released by Adidas, but we didn't really see any to the original form of the Adidas Futurecraft with the 4D midsole. So now we've seen a handful of Futurecrafts drop on Adidas, and for the most part, they've sold out slowly. But I just recently got this colorway that's honestly sitting in a full size run on Adidas website as of right now. And I'll link it in the description if you're interested in buying a pair, because I think they're super fresh. But it's definitely a shoe that lost a lot of hype. And in case in point, the fact that you can actually buy these at $220 retail instead of paying the $1,000 that they were when the market was really, really hot for the Adidas Futurecraft. I saw this one sit at retail for quite a while in the original colorway. And in fact, some places had it on sale even. But this one sitting in a full size run, really fresh colorway, and just crazy to see the hype completely removed from the shoe. That being said, it's great for people like myself and going, hey, those are available. I'm gonna get those. So there is a silver lining there, as I mentioned previously. But number 2 spot, the Adidas Futurecraft. All right, so we made it to the number 1 spot on the countdown. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys did, please drop a like. But the number 1 spot on the countdown actually goes to Yeezys, and I'm not talking about the 350s. I'm actually gonna be talking about these two. We have the Quantums and the MNVNs, as I call them, the MNVNs. The Quantum basketball shoe is one of those shoes that dropped originally in such small quantities that they were reselling for $600, $700, $800, I believe. Then they released, and it's kind of a crazy, cool looking shoe, but at the end of the day, the price point of $250 may be just a little bit too steep. I'm not really sure. Leave some comments, let me know what you guys think. Why is the hype dead on these as soon as they ended up releasing in regular amounts? But the Quantum basketball shoes was a little bit confusing. One, they had 2 different versions. They had the regular lifestyle and then the performance version that they looked very, very similar. So it was kind of confusing to the market already. But I think that the shape is definitely one of those things people are going to love or hate. At the end of the day, it is a pretty nice looking shoe, to be honest. And I'm surprised that the hype is as dead as it is. When these dropped the last couple times, I've seen them sitting for days and days and days. But who knows if they actually ended up selling out or if the product was pulled. But the Quantum is definitely one where the hype was not there anymore. Also, the minivans, as I call them, the 700 MNVN. This colorway dropped earlier this year, and it was sitting for days again on Yeezy supply. And so I just scooped them up and bought them because of it, like the fact they were sitting. Then when I got them, I did a video, and I just was not impressed. The upper was terrible. I mean, it just felt like it just was terrible. So the quality on these for a $220 price point, not it for me. The last version that just released is still sitting in stock as well from the last I looked. But still, the products are going to sell. It's not like I'm saying any of these products are not worth buying, because obviously if you like the Yeezys or if you like Dunks or Jordans, some of them are going to sell out. Some of them you're going to make money on. Some of them you're going to buy and regret buying because you spent a bunch of money on it and you're not going to be able to recoup. Some of it you're just going to buy and enjoy. So at the end of the day, like, do whatever's best for you. Ultimately, I would say that hype definitely depends on the individual of what you consider is hyped up or not. I'm primarily just going off of the resale market and the highs and the lows and how it's kind of been trending. But leave some comments in the comment section. What do you think I got right? What do you think I got wrong? What would you add to my list? Curious to see as well, and appreciate you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and check out my channel again if you guys want to see more sneaker content. Have a good one. All right, peace, guys.